about it. Listen to us live on Facebook.
Good effing morning. Happy 1 year, 365 days in office to Joe fucking Biden and Giggle Harris, because I just can't tell you I'm laughing. David,
Oh,
are you
Stuart, I got
laughing?
to tell you, I'm not laughing. It's actually been crazy. And one of the things that you're seeing in the media is that Mr. Biden, like students, like everybody else, gets a grade. And usually it's the first 100 days, and we go to the 6 months, and then of course we go to the 1 year. And this is the 1 year. And it's amazing that he was inaugurated on January the 20th, 2021, with much fanfare, pomp and circumstance, like any other president. And he said he was going to deliver on his promises. Now we know politicians, Stuart, when do you know when a politician is lying?
His lips are moving.
There we go. So when their lips are moving,
or they're giggling.
oh, they're giggling. Yeah. So in Mr. Biden's case, we knew from the beginning, like any other president, that, you're not going to keep all of your promises. But what's sad about Mr. Biden, Stuart, is that he not only did not keep his promises, he actually went down such a bad rabbit hole that it's been one of the worst years of a president ever, that this morning his approval rating is at record lows. So, Stuart, I have my grade for Mr. Biden. What's your grade and why?
Well, I'll tell you. Here's my grade.
Oh, come on.
What you heard? You heard the grade. It's 0. It's nothing. Listen, right. They're providing COVID testing months and several months after the heightened Omicron. They missed the boat on that one. By the time they deliver these vaccination tests, right? Not the vaccination, the COVID tests for Omicron, the hyper part of the market will be done. The deaths will have been caused, and we'll have spent another, $1 billion on testing that will do absolutely nothing, which is pretty much what this government's done. Normally, a government can run on accolades. They can run on achieving goals. This presidency cannot. I mean, I cannot name. Their infrastructure bill was a blowout. Their voting bill is a lie. Their education bill is a disaster. Their healthcare change, all this just doesn't happen. And they got control of both sides of the house, right?
Yeah. It's fascinating.
So if Joe Biden remembered what he said yesterday, or what he was told yesterday, or read off a cue card, because a 79-year-old bumbling old man is exactly that. Now, for those people that are 79 years of age and listen to our rant, we're not talking about you, because you probably have half your marbles left. This guy doesn't have half his marbles left. This guy is reading cue cards, and the minute you ask a question that's not on the cue card, sorry, it's time for us to go. Let's cut this. Harris, this reminds me almost day for day of the Carter administration. Came in with so much fanfare and ended up being so much of the most costly presidency till now. Obama came close to Carter's costs, right? Yeah. But he had the largest recession that he inherited, which was a combination of everyone before him. But Carter, by far, is the biggest loser Democrat till Biden. Carter was number 1. Obama was number 2, right? Now, and I hate to say it because I'm a Kennedy Democrat, now you got the idiots of Biden and Harris that are now the number 1 biggest losing, least popular presidents at 1 year. It's disgusting. Where are all the people wearing their pins, "I voted for Biden"? Where are all those people wearing their masks saying, "Fuck Trump"? All those people are broke. They have no money. They're paying 100% on tax. They're paying 50% on beef. They're paying 30 to 75% on fruits and vegetables. Tell me, where are these people that love these people?
Well, Stuart, you bring up, and if we look at the grade that I would give Mr. Biden, it would be an F, and it's an F for failure. You failed to you promised on day one that you were going to unify the country, and instead you continue to use divisive politics. Failure. You promised everybody that you'd get COVID under control in your first year of your administration. Okay. And frankly, I get the notion that, you didn't predict Omicron. I understand that. But you saw 4 strains, and supposedly you have this guy Fauci in your group there. And if, you're been told you got to prepare, you got to plan better. And then to sit there and to say that, oh, it's not my fault. Look at these 2 Democrats that are blocking everything that I'm trying to do. No, that's a load of crap. Because if you really wanted to play your cards right, Mr. Biden, you would have. And COVID would have been under way better control in the United States. What's amazing is the Teflon mentality, Stuart, of it's like, if don't blame me, it's the other governors. So the Republican governors like DeSantis and the other ones, they're to be blamed for the COVID spread. But what does that do in the Democratic states? Okay, please forgive me. And I think that the message
you're forgetting their game. You're forgetting their game. Their game is blame all the red states, and you won't talk about the blue states.
Of course, but Stuart, but my point is that the people spoke in Virginia. The Commonwealth of Virginia spoke loud and clear that they are not happy with Mr. Biden, and you're seeing it more and more. Now, foreign policy, what he did in Afghanistan, what he did last summer was beyond the pale. And we ranted about this, I know, but it was ridiculous that any president would throw his allies under the bus. Oh, wait a minute. He did that with Obama. So yes, it's not a new thing for Mr. Biden to screw his friends. His memory
and allies.
You know what? I got to tell you. And now he's lying to people that he was arrested during the civil rights movement. I'll tell you something.
Yeah, hang on a second. But Biden's the one that wanted separate buses. He's the one who didn't want to cause any ruffles. He's the real Jim Crow. And that's the most fucked up part about this, that this guy is the real Jim Crow.
And that's the point I'm trying to say, Stuart, is that when we're looking at a president, I mean, listen, it's a relatively thankless job, I agree. But if I look back at the absolute condemnation of Donald Trump in his first year in office, the fascinating thing is that when he succeeded at doing something that was his election promise, people ripped him. And now when we look at Joe Biden and he isn't fulfilling what he's promised us in his election in his first year, and he's going to say, Jen Psaki said, we need more time. What do you need more time on? Inflation is rampant. It's skyrocketing. You could do things today. But what are you doing? You're blaming. You blame. Like you said, the infrastructure bill, that so-called BBB bill, that is not going to get anywhere. Biden is very quick to blame the Republicans. It's the Republicans. They're filibusters. They're holding up. And now Chuck Schumer is voicing that too. Okay? Oh, it's not my fault. It's not our fault. It's blaming the Republicans. You know what, guys? There is no accountability. Mr. Biden, you want to talk about one of the most unaccountable thing a president could do? How many interviews has Mr. Biden conducted? Press conferences that he's conducted where he's allowed the press to ask him anything. He cannot be held accountable for anything. Stuart, is why I'm giving him an F.
But David, the man should be 25'd out. And the only reason why we haven't 25'd him out or talked about it is because Kamala Harris is even scarier than him.
Well,
listen, the progressive movement that he appeased to get into office, remember, he had to get both the progressives and the moderates and the normal ones and the independents to get elected. It took all of that. And now he screwed himself because you know what? Now the progressives want their own party.
Listen, I don't want to hear about impeachment anymore. I think impeachment, that word is ridiculous. Okay?
Well, you live in Canada, separation. You hear it all the time.
Hold on. I'm tired. I was tired when the Democrats used it for 4 years. I'm tired. I know the moment that Trump was elected, they used the word impeachment because we're going to impeach this president, and now Republicans are using it on Biden. Guys, stop it. This political is stupid. Okay, the president. You're not impeaching a president. You're just using this for political gain. The reality is that when you're the president, you're going to fail at certain things, and you should succeed at certain things. I don't know what Mr. Biden has succeeded in. You tell me one thing that he has done that has made a difference to Americans. What he has done is divide Americans further. He blames people further. It's old school politics. It's just listen to me. I talk nicely. I speak with nice words, but don't hold me accountable for failure. That's become the Democratic way.
It's been the day. It's the woke and broke way. Let me tell you all the things you want to hear. Let me coin them. Let me not let you look at the other side. It's kind of like when you got a bottle of water. My bottle of water looks full, right, David?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's half empty. That's how these guys operate.
Well,
David,
I'm going to tell you,
it's disgusting.
It's not just, and I'm saying, look, I can crap on Pelosi and Schumer and all the rest of those chicken shits, but the reality is that the president of the United States, who on day one talked about his executive orders, and on day one said the changes that he was going to make and the promises he's going to make, if you talk to the people in Texas right now, the immigration scenario there, the situation there is out of control. AOC cried at the border about the poor children.
AOC was at a transvestite party in Florida and got COVID.
Nothing was done under Joe Biden's administration to help immigration. It made it worse. Joe Biden didn't made it worse for Afghanistan. Joe Biden has made it worse for you and me at the pumps. Joe Biden has made it worse for you and me with COVID. He is hurting us with the cost of bread and milk and rent and everything.
David, I went to the store shelves. I went to the supermarket down here in South Florida. Publix is the big 800-pound gorilla. And the shelves are empty. You can't get Philadelphia cream cheese.
Yeah, well, that's hey, Philadelphia is begging people to stay away. I mean, there was a whole campaign about it. By the way, come to Canada. We have lots of cream cheese. But the crazy thing is that Mr. Biden has created this, like the inflation rate alone. What you talked about before, the cost of meat, chicken. I'm talking about basics. I'm not talking about luxury items. I'm talking about basics. Mr. Biden is, again, pointing the finger at everybody else but himself for the cause of this. And there's your letter F. F for failure, amongst other words.
And for fucking idiot. Come on, call it what it is.
The issue going forward, Stuart, that scares me is the man has 3 more years. And I'm going to tell you that the message is going to be delivered in absolute, let's use the old expression, in technicolor.
I'm excited to see what the midterms show.
In November, this November, let's see how the House and the Senate turn, because I'm hearing more and more Democrat, like James Carville, by the way. Kudos to James Carville, a Democratic, consultant who has ripped the party and Mr. Biden for terrible leadership and whining. Best word, whining. Okay. He said this midterm, be prepared for Republican onslaught. They are going to come out and teach Biden a lesson.
Look, it's great to say that, everyone's got to go out and vote. Everyone has got to get an independent news source. CNN isn't independent, guys. MSNBC isn't independent. CBS, not independent. You got to even read and take everyone from even Fox News, not independent. At least at Fox News, you'll get some cross coverage. It's just really, the issue is that the media has just lost their way. No, it's not news. It's media.
The crazy thing is that the media, and you could see it finally, Stuart, as we're reaching our quarter hour, the media themselves are turning on Mr. Biden. You want it, they're worried. I mean, there's statements like that all over the place on MSNBC who are not ashamed to say how much they love Mr. Biden, but they are petrified and they're saying Biden is failing America. That's coming from left-wing media. Ladies and gentlemen, we reached our quarter hour and still Mr. Biden has an F. And let's hope that Mr. Biden, for the sake of Americans and everybody else around the world, he can improve his grade. But we highly doubt it. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have yourselves a great